Hey teachers! I've had a lot of people ask how my escape challenges work and if they're easy to prepare, so I just wanted to walk you through how it's set up and tell you a few of the benefits of these escape challenges instead of some of the other ones that you can find. So the first thing that I have in my escape challenges is I have it built in that if you have lots of students, like if you have a class of 35 or 36, it's just as easy to prepare this as if you only had 15 students. So the way that it works is I have challenge envelopes for each challenge. Now my reading one has 4 challenges, the math has 5 just because math is a little quicker, but basically all you have to do is cut and paste the challenge labels on the envelopes. It doesn't matter if you have 36 students or 15 students. You only need the 4 challenge envelopes or 5 if it's the math version. So you only need 1 set of envelopes. So basically you have teams that are going to run through this. So you're going to have teams of 3 or 4 students. So you're not having all 36 students looking for the same clue at the same time, because what happens with that situation is you always have 1 or 2 of your high flyers who are way ahead of the other students, and the other students are just kind of looking at what they're doing. So they're not actually doing the work. So the way I have it built in with teams is that you'll take the 4 challenge envelopes, you will look for the icon. So the first challenge icon is a volcano, and any papers that have a volcano on it go in the volcano envelope. Really simple. So this is my first challenge, and if you have, let's say you have 8 teams because you have a huge class, you'll just put 8 copies of this challenge into the envelope. That's it. You don't need multiple envelopes. All you have to do is print that out, stick it in the envelope. Super easy. Okay? Same thing with challenge 2. Okay, you'll see message in a bottle. You've got your message in a bottle page. This is one where you do have to cut things for this part, these little slips. I only have you cut in 1 challenge for each escape challenge. So in my math ones, it's a cipher wheel, which the kids love. And in this one, it's these little coding pages, but only 1 challenge for each because I don't want it to take you very long. So you have 8 groups, you have 3 groups, however many groups you have, just put those copies in here. Now the planet emoji has little puzzle pieces as well that you can put in there. Pretty simple. Those aren't in the math one. The math one's a little bit different, but it doesn't take a lot of extra time to prepare. So I do that for my 4 challenge envelopes, and then I stick them on the board. Emoji Queen. And I can stick her up on the board. You can get one of those clips, those big heavy clips, and you can just clip them all right here, and that way they're all in one place. So until the last challenge, students aren't running around the room trying to find different clues, which can get kind of chaotic and just lead to a lot of students just looking to see what the other students are doing. In order to pass these challenges, your students have to approach the Emoji Queen or the Emoji King if it's the math version. So every student also has to have their escape log filled out so that every student is participating equally and doing equal work. So you'll see on this side you've got all the challenge clues answers, and on this side they're solving the extra problems that are on the front of the envelopes. And this is pretty easy. It's 1 double-sided copy for each student. Most of it's just copying, which took me about 5 minutes, and then I did a little bit cut, pasting, and envelope stuffing, and then I was done. A couple other things that come with this is an emoji ship that you can paste somewhere on your board at a different spot. The emoji ship, this is different in each packet. This is the planet emoji one, but if you have students who are taking over your entire activity and they're doing all the work for their group, and they need to take a break from the activity so the other group members can be doing more of the work, all you have to do is hand them a "You've Been Kidnapped" card, and they will have to stand at the emoji ship for 5 minutes, kind of like a timeout. And these cards are really easy. You just print and cut them, and then you can just hand them to students that need a timeout from their group. It could be students who are taking over. Or it could just be students who are maybe having a bad attitude or just need a break or are stressed out or whatever. It can be used for a variety of different issues. So that's all that you really need to prep. Really the last thing that I prep is the envelope. This is like the winning team will find this envelope somewhere in your classroom, and the last activity gives them a clue to where this envelope is. And when they open the envelope, they're gonna find their last puzzle piece that says you escaped in the planet emoji one. If it's not the planet emoji, it might be a little different. And they'll find a letter that says that they've escaped inside that envelope. Basically tells them the other teams got left behind and that they won. So it'll tell you in the pack where to hide this in your classroom, and the last clue will lead it to them. So that's it. Another optional thing that you can do, this just takes an extra couple of minutes, is make these little badges for your students. The printable are included, but the badges I got for $1 at Walmart, and they're different in each pack. So this one, it says I escaped planet emoji, and that way your kids who win the challenge can like wear these for like a week or a day or however long they last. You might collect them back. I personally just gave them to the students because they were so cheap to make. So that is basically how it works. It's very easy to prep. There's a few differences from like the reading to the math, and depending on the theme of the game, there's a few differences, but mostly gameplay is very similar in order to make it so that your students understand what to expect. But the problems are very different and the puzzles are different to make it interesting so you can use all of them with the same students. And I got this on Amazon for like $6. This is a great investment. You don't necessarily have to be the queen or the king of the emojis. You can have a student who's a high flyer be that, and they're the ones that check the answers and make sure that the students have the code for the next part of the activity. A lot of people like to do that as a reward, like, you know, whichever student gets the highest grade in the class this quarter gets to be the emoji king or queen, and they get to run the activity. Or you can be it yourself. So I like to get this just to like make it more fun. But that's it. It's very simple to set up. It's very engaging, and I've built in a lot of accountability for those students who maybe won't participate as much as the other students, just to make sure that we have as equal participation as we can be. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at april@performingeducation.com. I would love to see what your students are doing with this. If you do one of my escape challenges, please post a picture and tag me on social media at Performing in Education.